in order to figure all this out, because farming, you're kind of in your own little bubble a lot of times, but farmers do actually talk to one another. FieldNet was actually something that another local farmer had going that we saw and liked, and he had good success with, had success with, so we went with that. We do a lot of word of mouth, this works here, this worked for me, you should try it. Then we'll call an extension agent or somebody that we buy crop input for and say, how did this work here? How did this work here? And normally we found they're not just out to sell the product, they're out to actually help the farmer. And that's something that's been really good to see. Different varieties that are upcoming. We do a lot of talking to our seed company, and they usually have the skinny on, what's even coming down the pipeline. So I do a lot of Googling. So my dad, being from the older generation, he's not as big on the computer, but he likes when I get on and figure out, this works here, this doesn't work here. A lot of it's word of mouth, to tell you the truth. Farmers talk, and they can, when you ride by a field and you see something that looks really good, you're going to say, hey, what's that? And when they tell you, that's something that you might try on your own farm. But yeah, it's a little bit of everything. I think some experience too, knowing what works in which fields and which doesn't, knowing timing and when to plant, when to back off. And then for certified seed, of course, it's really important. Harvest is just as important. You got to get it out of the field before it gets drenched, but you got to leave it in long enough, to get a good seed. So it's a tough thing to balance most of the time, but we make it work.